Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Shakopee Chamber Podcast. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and I am the president and CEO of the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau, and I am pleased that you are tuning in to listen to our little show today. As you know, we started this podcast back in June as a way of connecting with our members and the Shakopee and surrounding communities in a time where getting together was not encouraged. And we're having some fun with it and we're getting some good traction. So I want to thank you all for listening and for sharing it. I am excited today for episode 17 to welcome our two guests. We have Jo Foust, who's the business development specialist of Scott County's First Stop Shop, and also this year's Fast Track winner, Jake DeSaint Hubert, who is the owner of Euroworx. Dang, I did it again and I practiced. Euroworx Automotive Repair in New Prague. So welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's my pleasure. I'm super excited to hear more about this. So, Jo, I think we'll start with you and give our listeners at home a little bit of a history. So you're with the First Stop Shop, and that is kind of the economic development arm of the county. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Correct. We're with the Scott County CDA, and myself and Stacy Crakes are with First Stop Shop, and we assist the 7 cities and 11 townships with economic development projects across the county.
Fantastic. Now, this competition, the Fast Track competition, tell us about the history of this. How did it get started? How long has it been going? And tell us about the program.
The program started in October of 2017, so this was actually our 4th competition.
Great.
It started a few years ago in the Technology Village Board of Directors. It's a volunteer group of individuals that work with the Business Accelerator program out of Prior Lake. We're looking at ways to expand programming and assist small businesses that are either in the startup mode or just in the concept stage, really launch and be successful in Scott County. The program was designed also to increase the tax base and increase jobs that would stay in Scott County.
Yeah. So you're encouraging entrepreneurship and helping grow our community. I mean, Scott County, I laugh because we have 7 cities, but nobody knows where the borders are. We are all one. We're all in this together. So I love the work that you guys do. Now, this Fast Track program competition, it's like Shark Tank, right?
Yes. It is intended to help those go before a panel of judges, pitch their ideas, and compete for prizes and professional services.
Awesome. So who can participate in this program, Jo? Like, is it open to anybody, or do you have to be at a certain point in your business life cycle, I guess?
It is open to any entrepreneur that would like to either operate a business in Scott County currently or planning to. And they can be in the concept phase all the way up to somebody that has established up to 3 years ago.
Okay. So do they come to you if they are established? So is it they bring a business problem to you, or do they bring a just an idea, or anywhere in between? How do they qualify to be in this? Like, how would they get selected?
Each year in August is the deadline for applications, and they submit the pre-application, and the board of directors ranks and reviews those. And they can be anywhere from concept phase of an idea all the way up to product being launched with some initial sales.
Okay. Now I downloaded the application. I was looking at the website, and there are 8 challenge categories. Now, do you typically get someone, or do you look for a business in each of those 8 categories? Is that how you structure it? Or could it just be however many apply in any of those categories?
Good question. Right now we have 8 different categories, and we have been fortunate to have individuals in a variety of those each year. I think the category we have not received applications is our industrial workplace. Otherwise, the other categories are energy, food, high tech, life science, professional services. And as the program grows, the intent is to have different breakout categories in which they compete.
Great.
This time, everybody competes no matter what category they are in.
Yeah. So since you started this 4 years ago, what are some of the best outcomes that you've seen and that have impacted the communities within Scott County? I mean, how many new businesses? I mean, how do you know it's being successful? I know it is, but what are some of the metrics you guys are using to prove
And we
that?
are looking at the number of businesses that are applying.
Yeah.
And each year we select 4 to 5 finalists. The first year we had 4 that we selected as finalists. And those were primarily in the concept stage.
Mm-hmm.
The competition seems to be getting a little tougher each year. And some of the businesses that apply are already underway with sales and forecasting available to them. We have a number of businesses that are ongoing and growing, adding employees. Euroware is based in Prior Lake Technology Village. Their product, they have expanded the product line and number of employees.
Wow.
Ion Concert Media, our first year winner, they have new products and launched a number of different patents. They recently have a distribution partner, J.W. Pepper, and that is the world's largest print music distributor. So they
Wow.
are distributing their music software worldwide now.
That's fantastic. And to think, I mean, I always joke that when I retire from this job, I'm going to write a book called Who Knew, about all of the cool things that are either currently doing business here in Shakopee or, that have started here. And I'm going to have to expand it to Scott County, because this program, I mean, it really is accomplishing all of the goals of the different programs, or helping to reach all the goals of the different programs. Like I'm thinking about the 50 by 30. I mean, we're creating the work, the work part of the live, work, play, right? So I love it. So good job. So now you've got judges every year. And this year I looked at your panel of judges, pretty impressive list of business leaders here in the community. How do you choose your judges, and do you have the same ones every year?
We have 5 professional judges that volunteer their time on our panel of judges for the live event. And typically those that are silver or gold sponsors of the program have an opportunity to have a seat on the board.
Okay.
And so 3 of our judges have been sponsors in the past. And we try to have industry experts, those with legal background, banking experience, etc. This year we had 3 returning judges and 2 new judges, and we kind of like the consistency, but also to introduce some new talent as well.
Yeah. Well, then it's interesting as you're talking about the background of the judges. I mean, then they can offer advice and guidance and truly, I would imagine, ideas shared during all of this.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but win-win. So with COVID this year, did you have to change anything with the competition?
Early on, we tried to establish a plan A and plan B in case we had to go virtual
And
for the
C
entire
and D and E.
Exactly. Typically, the Board of Directors for Technology Village conducts a number of practice pitches with the finalists prior to the live event, and that is generally done live. This year, we did those via Zoom, which worked very well. The live event was still held October 22nd at Prior Lake City Hall. So the only changes there were everyone had masks on. We had a much smaller audience, and we were socially distanced.
Yeah. 2020. You got to love it. So before we go on to, kind of our star of the show, the winner of this year's competition, how can the business community get involved in making sure, in helping ensure that this program continues? Because I think it's so wonderful. So how does the business community get involved?
That's a great question. Without our sponsors and professional service providers, this program really could not happen. So each year the finalists compete for cash and professional service packages. So we have businesses that are willing to donate their time and talents, whether it's an accountant, a banker, individual that's giving money. Design Services Neon Lizard has been one of our long-term sponsors. Anything that could assist a new business, we invite those businesses to participate and give back.
Great. Well, and that's what
Chambers of Commerce, especially, you've given 1 year free membership, and that is great for entrepreneurs to be able to reach out and expand their network.
Yeah, well, that's what we're all about here at the Chamber, right? And I think we participated since the very beginning. So, I already reached out to Jake to congratulate him and welcome him to the Chamber and get his page on our Chamber website set up. And that seems like a really good segue to introduce and congratulate this year's winner, Jake DeSaint Hubert. Congrats. So I want to hear what it's like. I mean, Jo did a great job telling us about the program. What's it like as a competitor in this process?
Well, first off, thank you for the congratulations and welcoming me here. The process is a little difficult to start. I started with it, and I was recommended to do it by Neon Lizard, actually.
Okay.
They are actually my marketing and branding company.
Oh,
So
good.
they they help develop the brand of the company and stuff like that. So she had recommended me to start it and try it and see what happens.
Mhm.
And so the process is pretty simple in the beginning, but then as time goes on, it becomes more complex.
Sure, sure. Tell us before we dive into more about your pitch and all of that. Tell us about your business. What do you do? And what was the final thing that Neon Lizard said that made you go, "Yeah, I should do this. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to win it."
So the business is just an automotive repair facility for high-end European cars. We also do a special service that goes out to people's homes
Hmm.
or people's place of business, work, school, stuff like that to help
Mhm.
with time. We decided to do that just due to the fact that everyone's busy. I mean, you've got two parents now working instead of just one. There's not people at home to run the car to the shop if needed. It's more of an inconvenience now to get your, car repaired. But
Mhm. Yeah.
you'd schedule it in your schedule. You would say the husband would take it or the wife would take it in because they would have time. No
Mhm.
one has time anymore with kids going to school and work being excessive. 40-hour work week is pretty much out the door these days. So
Yeah.
to try to accommodate people, we decided to put that branch in our automotive repair facility. So especially with people with these types of vehicles, with the Audis, the Mercedes-Benzes, the Land Rovers, the BMWs, they have a way more busier schedule than, I do, because they're in work meetings. They're
Yeah.
traveling the country is what I used to see a lot of.
Mhm.
The family would bring it in when I worked at BMW and say, hey, here's my daughter's car, my son's car, my wife's car. We're going on a business trip for a week. We'll be back. So
Mhm.
instead of having to try to schedule all these cars, we can now go to your place of home or a place where you want us to go and hopefully repair most, if not all, the issues at hand on the vehicle.
Right there on site.
Yep.
So you're kind of taking, I mean, as I'm listening to you, I mean, first of all, what a great service to offer to people. Because you're right. The one thing none of us have enough of is time in our day to deal
Mhm.
with the inconvenience of anything, let alone your
Yes.
car, right? But it's kind of like the auto repair class model. Like, I can replace my windshield while I'm in a meeting. You can do everything else.
Right.
So
Exactly.
people gotta love that.
Yeah. So I had a customer early on take advantage of this from Prior Lake. He had an oil leak. He had called and just said, hey, can you just come look at this really quick and
Mhm.
see if you can fix it right here? And I said, of course, I'll just, I'm in Prior Lake right now actually fixing another car. So I'll
Mhm.
just, so I went down there, found out the leak was coming from a seal on the cap for the oil filter housing, was able just to go get one at a local parts store. I said, here's the cost of it. Here's the part of the labor of it. Do you want me to just fix it right now and clean it on up? Yep, of course. So did it really quick. He came out. He was super impressed. He still comes to my shop to this day.
I love that. Well, you know what? It is all about service and relationship. And I'm the same way. If somebody makes my life easier, we're going to be doing business together for a long time. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, cool thing, Jake. So, you and I talked on the phone yesterday. I called you and congratulated and asked you to be on the podcast today. And, I read the tagline on the Fast Track website, like, oh, automotive repair. But then I went to your Facebook business page and I noticed something really cool in your mission statement. And I wrote it down. Your mission is we exist to create a legacy for my son,
Correct.
period. Tell me more about that because when you just told me the story about your business, one could imagine that we live to make, BMW owners' lives easier, but that's not
Right.
why you're doing this. Tell me about your
No.
mission.
So I have a 4.5-year-old son. I'm a single dad, full-time single dad. He is with me 99.9% of the time.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be doing this today. I especially wouldn't be doing this,
Mhm.
working $100 a week, trying to make this business happen if I didn't have my son. So
Mhm.
he follows me footstep by footstep right behind me, wants to help fix cars, always wants to be daddy's little helper. So,
Mhm.
we do a lot together. And people ask, what if your son doesn't want to do it? And I said, well, he's gonna be submerged into this pretty much his whole life. So
He's not gonna know there's another option.
right, exactly. So, that is for, and even if he doesn't, in the automotive industry, at least he'll have something to say, hey, dad left this for me.
Yeah.
He worked really hard for this, and I hope I can carry it on, or, just be a business owner and hire the right management to continue the business and keep going. So one thing I always wanted to leave behind as a legacy. My grandpa did it. I want to do it. I'm a pretty sentimental guy about stuff like that. I can't even let go of his jackets and shoes that he still had 2 years ago. I was just going through them actually, and can't even let them go. I just put them in another bin and said, oh, maybe another day.
You don't need to let those go. No.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, there's families out there that need it too. So I'm happy to give it up if I need to, and to other families as well, because there's kids out there that don't even have jackets. But yeah, this is 100% for him. I wouldn't work as much as I do. I just go work for someone else so I can get a job. So, but yeah, working for him is what it's all about. And I got to remember that every day when I wake up, because sometimes it's hard, when you get 2 hours of sleep because you've been working so much, and you fall asleep on the couch with the computer in front of you trying to crunch numbers and projections, and which has happened many times. But as long as you have something to work for, you're going to do it. And he's the most important part of my life. So that keeps me going every day.
I love that. Well, and he's adorable. I was on your business Facebook page. So he's 4 years old now. And is there any skills that he's mastered? I mean, does he have his own little jobs at your shop?
He does. So he likes to go into my pliers drawer and get pliers for me. And he says, Dad, this is a needle nose. And Dad, this is the side cutters. And Dad, this is a ratchet. And, and I'll show him the sockets. This is a 10 millimeter. This goes on this bolt, and he'll try it and get it. And so we've been really working together on that. It's been a lot of fun.
So great. I mean, the things you're teaching him, and you are a sentimental guy. We're going to be friends, Jake. Like we're going to make this chamber membership work really well for you. And I'm just so intrigued by your story and your drive and your mission. So now that you've won, I mean, what's next? So 2 questions. So you went into this challenge. Was there a particular business problem or challenge that you were trying to solve for? Or what was it about this challenge and the prize package that motivated you that way?
So I started because I wanted to, be able to be part of the community, number one. Try to reach other businesses, communicate, networking, stuff like that. Even if I didn't win, I really wanted to make those connections with other businesses, other people. Business is about working with other businesses and working with other people. You're not going to survive very long if you're a jerk. Want to work with anybody. That just doesn't work. So it doesn't matter how much money you have or anything like that, or your dreams or successes, you got to be able to work with people. So I really wanted to just start there, work with other individuals, get into the chambers, and be able to hopefully give back to the communities that surround me, because those are the ones that are giving to me. You got to give back. So to start out with Fast Track, that's what the goal was. As it continued, obviously you want to win, you want to work hard to win. A lot of stiff competition this year, a lot of great companies. So very fortunate to be able to be number one. It took a lot of hard work, not just by me, but by everybody around me and the supportive families and friends and companies. So, if it wasn't for all of them, I wouldn't probably be here today. So, which is awesome. But, that was the way I looked at it as I was going into the Fast Track program.
Fantastic. So now that you've won and achieved all of this fame and glory, what's next for Euroworx?
So hopefully growth. We are growing every day. We've been growing since day one. I started this company just working on a Friday and Saturday every week back in January, because I was still working a full-time job.
January of 2020?
January of 2020. I decided to take the leap of faith, and I said, this is right into
the deep end.
This is going to be great, right? So I actually was working at Audi 4 days a week, 50 hours a week, doing 10 or 12-hour days there, and then working on the business on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So I would work on Fridays. I'd line up the cars, and I started in a small little shop out in St. Patrick. It was brand new. A buddy of mine just built it. And I paid for his hoist. I paid for the install. And I said, I will pay for these things if you let me work here. And he said, of course. So I would be in there till 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning on a Friday, going into a Saturday working, trying to get cars done. I couldn't leave cars there, so I had to tow them out of there if there were problems. and tow them to my house out in New Prague, and then tow them back the next week. And I mean, I was putting in crazy hours.
Yeah.
And COVID hit about mid-March, into March, and I got furloughed from Audi. So I said, well, I guess I got to do something. So I called up Neon Leisure. I said, we've got to hit something hard to be able to attract customers to Euroworx, because, you know, I don't want to collect unemployment, and
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to get one of them relief checks. So we went ahead and developed a plan, got some cars in. April was pretty rough going. Sales were just completely in the gutter. And
nobody was driving their car. They didn't even know if it wasn't working.
No, I couldn't even get an oil change, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'll take an oil change if I have to. So didn't get any of that. We worked on 4 cars in April as a total.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then May hit. They called me back into Audi to work, 3 days a week this time, and then went on from there. So after about May, it started to pick up again, and I had to call my boss at the end of May and say, hey, I gotta quit. You know, it became that busy, and it was just me working. Finally was able to hire on one other personnel technician, and then I just hired a administrative assistant, and I just put an offer in onto another master certified technician at Audi to come work for me. So we are
fantastic,
growing, and we're hoping to be in a storefront in Prior Lake in the next couple of years. I
mean, not knocking Prior Lake, but have you checked out Shakopee?
I have checked out Shakopee, and I wouldn't be against it if the price was right.
We'll work on that. Sorry, Joe. Am I screwing up a deal for you?
So we want that to be the main hub.
Yeah.
We want offices above, in the second floor.
Yeah.
I want an indoor ramp for cars, heated for cars, because people like to know that their cars are safe. I want to have a car wash for customers, and it's basically like a mini dealership without the dealership prices and the dealership pressure. That's what I want to develop for my customers. And then we want to have subdivisions across the rural areas that we just can't, nobody wants to touch. You're looking at St. Peter has plenty of European cars. Rochester has plenty of European cars. Anything south of the river. I mean, I get customers from Iowa that come up because there's nothing. So we want to start branching out and doing miniature shops out there, 2-3 stalls. That way there's personnel too, to be able to go out and fix cars in people's driveways as well down there. So
great.
We're really trying to, that's the goal. So it's obviously a big goal, but as long as you keep your head down and keep grinding and remember your why, you should make it. So.
Well, and your why is adorable. Now, you mentioned a couple of things. You're hiring a master certified technician. Now, I was reading in your bio that you have some super fancy certification. Tell people, because I'm sure people with those cars are not going to, they wouldn't bring it to my garage. So they want somebody with those credentials. So they mean something. So tell people how you're certified.
So I started out in high school, working on cars in a small shop. In high school, I went to automotive competitions in Minnesota State. Skills USA Automotive was the biggest competition for young kids, college and high school. I took home 3rd place even back then in state. Went on to Universal Technical Institute, which is a straight automotive school. I took automotive science and technology, diesel science technology, and Ford science technology. And I graduated valedictorian from that school.
Congrats.
Thank you. Ended up moving on to BMW. BMW is a graduate school for automotive. You don't get to just get in, you have to be elected. So first you get selected if you have the right grades, the right attendance, because they did keep track of attendance at our school, professionalism grade, they kept track of our professionalism grades. Couldn't swear, you had to have your shirts tucked in, work boots, work pants. We had a school uniform. So they checked all that. They check your driving record. You do drug tests before you even apply. When I walked in, I didn't even really know what a BMW was. And they just said, I want the hardest one to get into and the hardest one to succeed at. And they said, well, BMW is it. They said, if you get in, you're lucky. So I said, let's do that one then. So I took the test. It's a 150 question automotive test. You have to do 90% or above. I passed that. BMW is the only manufacturer that issues another test, and you study for a month and you have to get a 90% on that one. Pass that. Then you do a personality test. You do another drug test. They recheck your grades, they recheck your attendance. Then you sit in front of the board of directors of BMW North America for about a 4-hour interview. And they interview you and ask you questions and, your whys and your whats and your hows. And after that, you do another drug test, you do one more test, a written test, and then about a month later, they decide if you're in or not. And only 200 students a year get in. I was fortunate enough to be one of them. I graduated BMW with highest honors in the nation. I went on to BMW of Tucson to work as a technician. And then after that, went to Sears Imports Automotive, which is up in Minnetonka, which then developed into BMW of Minnetonka. Was at BMW of Minnetonka for a very long time. During that time, got Mercedes-Benz certifications as well. Plus, after that, I went on to Audi and got my Audi certifications.
Wow. I'm going to save all my money and buy a fancier car so you can fix it. That's impressive.
We can fix pretty much anything. There's a lot of cars out there that don't have the same technology. They're more simple, and those are a lot easier to actually fix.
So do you take non-European cars? Do you take any car? Oh,
yep,
perfect.
We take any car.
That's an important note to tell people.
We do take any car. We take Fords, we take Chevys. I've got a Ford Explorer in the shop right now. We're doing some maintenance items on it. 90% of our cars are European cars, but we do work on
domestics.
Other
cars that a chamber exec would drive, because I'm not driving a Beamer. Well, that's great. Don't tell my friends at Shakopee Chev, but I'm almost due for an oil change. And if you can do it right here at the chamber and I don't have to come find you, we might have to try this out. They'll understand. You're a new chamber member. We'll make it work. So Jake, I love your story. And that is some serious commitment and passion from a very young age. And I love that your why is to do this now for your son. And you left a really good job. And a minute ago, in the middle of a global pandemic.
Well, it wasn't quite there yet. January, I was thinking it was just, it'll pass by just like everything else and it'll be fine. And then March hit and I was like, oh boy, what did I get myself into?
Oh my gosh.
But we kept going. So it was really important to keep going. I went through the crash in 2008. I have a paycheck still on my toolbox that I kept and never cashed it. It was for 10 days of work and I only got paid $98. So,
oh man.
So it isn't the first time we've went through it. So if I can make it through that, I can make it through this.
You got this. I have no doubt. Just listening to you, and this is really the first time other than, 4 minutes on the phone yesterday, explaining to you who I was and that I wanted you to on the show. In the time we spent together, I have no doubt that you are going to have locations everywhere. You need to hire more people so you can sleep a little bit. I love that you're building your infrastructure and you've got an administrative assistant, and I love it. So as we wrap up, tell us how people can find you. Tell the people listening how they find you.
Well, you can visit us on our website, euroworxmn.com, or you can go on our Facebook page, Euroworx Automotive Specialist.
And then they can see your cute assistant.
Exactly.
He's so sweet.
He's the front page.
Yes.
Or you can call me directly at the business number at 952-292-5926.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much for being here and huge congratulations and welcome to the Shakopee Chamber. We are excited to have you and our membership. And Jo, I want to thank you for being here with us today and really for being kind of the part of the driving team behind this, creating this program and promoting it and allowing us to be part of it, because it truly is like the spirit of business in our community. I love what you guys do. So thanks so much.
Thank you. And thank you for partnering and supporting us.
Oh, we always will. We love being included. So as we wrap up this episode of the Shakopee Chamber Podcast and issue one more big congratulations to Jake, we want to also thank our sponsors, and we would be terribly remiss. Jo mentioned her sponsors at the beginning of this, and you're right. Nothing happens without that support. We're all in this together. And this quarter sponsors of the Shakopee Chamber Podcast are the friendly folks over at O'Brien's Public House, right in downtown Shakopee. If you've not been there yet, get there. Food is great. The team is just fabulous. And it's going to be warm this week. So get out there and get on their patio. They've got a gorgeous fire table. And word on the street is that Angry has been purse shopping, and there'll be designer purse bingo for all the ladies on November 7th while all the guys are out hunting deer. So check them out, Brian's Public House. Thanks so much to our guests, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
I would recommend every small startup business to get into the Fast Track Challenge. You'll be absolutely surprised at how good this will be for your small business. My name is Paul Atkinson, and I am the founder of Big Mouth Pistachios. I got into the business because I was a salty snack fanatic. I love them. I heard about Fast Track. Actually, my wife told me about it. We thought, what a great way to get our product out there in the local area, get some great advice from people, win some money, which we did. Fast Track Challenge helped me to dream and to realize how potentially big this could be. And the challenge showed me through drilling down and doing a business plan and presenting to other professionals how scalable my business actually was. We started in September of 2018, and over the last 2 years, the company has gone through so many different changes. We initially launched in September and rapidly grew to almost 100 retail locations in 12 states, which was absolutely overwhelming for me. So I had to pull back and tool up to ramp up my production. And we have decided to join teams together with Big Mouth Pistachios and myself and a number of industry leaders from multiple different companies to really try and make this product go big fast. We should be launching right around the first of the year, hopefully to go national very quickly after that. Being a winner of the Scott County Fast Track Challenge came with a number of perks, including membership in the Technology Village. I used full advantage of all the resources that are available from Technology Village. There was the mentorship, the visiting with the board of directors. It was like having my own board of directors with ideas and context, whether it be from the back end, whether it be insurance, or whether it be to who I should be selling to, and maybe even a few contacts there. It's easy to get into. The people at Technology Village will help you walk you through. I would highly recommend anybody to fully use all the resources of Technology Village. It's awesome.